attention to reality, they get demonized. And I'm just one of these soldiers out here trying to bring attention back to reality.
Or what the hell she asked? I was waiting for her.
She's talking about the beauty standard.
These black folks' minds are so warped. I understand why this particular person, the one in the blue, would say that, because she's trying to maximize her pool of potential suitors.
That's why I think feminism, in my opinion, is the problem when people want to label things. You don't want all of the same things. We're all very different women. We have different experiences, different careers, different wants. So if you start saying feminism, you start labeling everybody, it's a problem. Because a black woman's freaking experience is not the same as a white woman. So our feminism doesn't look the same. So when everybody's saying, women empower yourselves, we can't empower ourselves the same way. Some women work, some don't. Some we're the mothers, some women are not mothers. It's like, don't put me under the same umbrella.
What is a black woman? What does that have to do with feminism?
It has to do with feminism because, for example, for me, just knowing the difference between my empowerment and the empowerment of my white girlfriends, it's very different. I have bigger struggles to overcome. So when somebody's telling me, feminism, empower yourself, we're all the same. No, we're not. We're quite different. The same way that I don't believe that racism is actually something that many people should be speaking on, because even that black experience is totally different depending on where you're from, what class you come from. So women are not all the same just because we are women.
This is like everything you're saying is why people think that feminists are just chatting. Because what does
I'm
racism?
I'm not a feminist, so I don't really care. And I brought feminism as a comparison point because I'm just trying to explain that when you put people in the same bag every single time, it causes problems. So you don't actually get to understand what the genuine problem is, and you start saying, we want this, but then you don't know what
it's victim mindset.
Yeah.
It's having a victim mindset. I'm black, I'm a woman, I need empowerment, I need this to move forward.
No, it's not a victimization, it's a fact. Because I know I lived that experience, you may not. And on top of that, I'm also an immigrant, so I already know that my experience is different. So when I'm talking about empowerment,
and you're an immigrant
I don't
too?
Look at it
there's a lot of ways you're victimizing yourself.
I'm not victimized, I'm empowering myself because I'm a G. I made it through the problem. I don't really care about whether or not it was a situation
But that's wokeness. You empower yourself by victimizing yourself.
No, I empower myself by understanding that perhaps I may have a bigger hill to climb, so I'll train harder.
It's what you're leading with, though. It's certainly what you're leading with.
With what?
Your race, your gender, and your immigration.
Of course.
You're leading with that. Is that your identity?
You can understand that when I'm a feminist too.
What about what you've done in the world instead of all of these other things?
I've done a lot of things in the world.
Okay, then why not lead with those?
I'm an educator as well.
Okay,
and I understand the difference between me going into that job versus other people. I work with different types of racism. What I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to make this about racism. I'm simply making a comparison to explain.
But you did.
No.
You certainly did.
And let me tell you why. Because I'm making a comparison. So it's an analogy to explain another problem. When you put everybody in the same basket, it doesn't work. That's why feminism doesn't work. It's not a good thing because I don't relate to feminists.
Because the problems are not just caused by gender, the problems are caused by these other factors that you're talking about.
Yes, but it's caused by so many different things. There's different elements to it, so don't box me in. So that's why I don't think feminism is good. You neglect the people that actually do need empowering.
And I don't think it's fair to say that she shouldn't.
Bruh, this bitch just said a whole lot of nothing. A whole lot of nothing. What does any of that got to do with motherfucking feminism, man? She is playing the fucking victim card and throwing the shit in the whole goddamn diarrhea of the mouth salad. You know what I'm saying? Immigrant this, fucking racism that, women this. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Shut the hell up.
Lead with her race and all of these things, because when you look at us, the first thing you do see is my race. If I am a TV presenter, you're not going to look at me first as a TV presenter.
It's the first thing I see when it's the first thing you say. When I see you, I see a woman. I don't see a black girl.
Maybe that's just you, but the majority are going to already have this stigma of me because I'm a black woman.
But here's the problem.
See, that's the goddamn problem. I did not think this was going to take this fucking turn. That's the goddamn problem right there. When the majority see me, they see me with this stigma. How the hell do you know how the majority sees you? That is a big ass problem with the black community, with any minority when they playing the victim. When you make the assumption of how you're viewed, you know what I'm saying? You're putting on them how you think they see you. And that disconnect causes fucking problems. I used to be like that, man, carrying this shit with me, trying to assume how the entire world sees me. You know what I'm saying? The whole world revolves around me and how I think they view me. Bro, like, you can't, you shooting yourself in the foot with that type of mind state, bro. That victim mind state is it is holding everybody back. You know what I mean? It is definitely holding the black community back. You can't do that. You can't do that, bruh. You got to give everybody the fucking benefit of the doubt. Let them prove to you that they are how they are, man. When you do that, you're looking at the world through color. Right? You're judging people by the color of your skin. You're judging them by the color of their skin. You're judging them by the color of their skin and how they view your skin. You're being racist. It's like reverse racism. You know what I'm saying? You're judging them by the color of their skin, not by the content of your character, which is going to directly impact you negatively because you're playing victim, judging yourself based on your fucking skin tone, not on your fucking merits, man. And that's exactly what old girl did. She led with victim mentality. I'm a fucking woman. I'm a fucking immigrant. I'm black, so the world is harder. I've had obstacles. Like, other people's obstacles.
TV presenter, you're not going to
It's
look
the
at me
first thing
first
I
as a
see
TV
when
presenter.
it's
You're
the first thing
going
you
to say,
say. When I see you, I see a woman. I don't see a black girl.
maybe that's just you, but the majority are going to already have this stigma of me because I'm a
But here's
black
the problem
woman.
with you doing that, and I say this with love, but if you have that top of mind all the time, you're going to suppress yourself.
Facts.
But that's literally, that's life. Like,
That's
we can't
you're
change
going to
it.
suppress yourself.
We can't change it, and that is life.
That's like me assuming that y'all are going to hate me because I'm a straight white male. Why would I think that about you guys when we could just get along?
So
Facts.
I don't understand, like, why are you being so challenging when I said
Because I hate to hear it coming out of your mouth
I'm
because
a woman,
it's a
and
poisonous
I'm
thing
putting
for you to
myself
think.
next to feminists, and I'm saying whatever your empowerment movement is not the same as mine. So don't actually label me to be in that situation and say, oh, women want this.
Oh, I'm
this
not
is
labeling you. I'm
No,
simply
not saying
telling you
I'm
what
saying-
exactly what you said.
No.
Exactly
I
what you
didn't say
said. What do you think about feminine?
I said you
I'm
in
black.
general.
I'm an immigrant.
Now,
all
why
this
would you-
bullshit.
why you
That's
lying?
literally
not
what you
what
just
I
said.
That's exactly
okay,
what you
let
said.
me rephrase it so you can
Okay, cool.
understand it. Okay,
Please.
so essentially, if I stand next to a feminist, yeah, for example, a white woman, I am not the same woman as you. What I want and what I see to be empowerment is not the same. Whether it's culturally, whether it's racially, whether it's professionally, academically, personally, whatever. We are all very different. Women cannot be boxed into the same box because we're not the same.
Because you're different races?
Because
Yes.
of different experiences as women.
So you're making an anti-feminist. You're making an anti-feminist
Yeah.
argument,
Because
but
she's black.
you want to have other things to complain about.
I've got
A lot of victim
balance.
Yeah.
I know the things that are not right, and I know the things that are right. It's not just black and white. There's gray areas in the middle. Why I mentioned, for example, things like race is a gray area in the middle that makes it say, oh yeah, feminism may not actually be as accurate as people are saying. That is why people come across feminists and they don't know what they want, because one wants this, the other one wants this, and the other one wants this, because they are different. And that is why feminism, in my opinion, is destructive.
And I don't think she's playing victim. I think she's just acknowledging a serious issue in society.
What
Very much
issue?
so.
Racism?
Yes.
Are we going to act like racism doesn't exist?
Yeah,
It's
it
an issue in
doesn't. No,
society.
racism is not a problem. That's how they keep people broken at the bottom and arguing about nothing and thinking that they're victims
And
all
that
the time.
sounds like a problem.
It's not a problem.
The way black people wear that on them like a shield, and I say that with all sincerity because I used to do the same damn thing, right? But every time I have a conversation with someone, with somebody black, and try to get them to understand, you know what I'm saying, this perspectives, like, as much as black folks who play the victim card and say like racism is alive and breathing and it holds us back. Every time I've talked to someone black about that, I'm like, okay, personally for you, in however many years you've been walking this earth, how has the color of your skin specifically impacted you negatively? Give me a percentage. How often do you come across a situation that affects you negatively because of the color of your skin? Because the way black folks hold that with them and talk about it and play the victim card, you would think that happens to them every day of their damn life, man, right? But it could be a handful of incidents where it could have happened, it could have taken place, right? At the end of the day, it's hard to prove it unless you get someone to admit the fact that they really judged you negatively because of the color of your skin. Oftentimes, it's assumptions. You're assuming that they're treating you different because of the color of your skin. You're assuming that you didn't get that job because of the color of your skin. You're assuming that you didn't get picked for this school or this program because of color of your skin, when it could be a long list of other things. It's hard to prove it unless you can prove with all certainty that you didn't accomplish this goal or you didn't get this opportunity because of the color of your skin, right? But even with that, the amount of times that happens within the average black person's life here in America is slim to none. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you may have some people that run into that shit more times than not, but they're the minority. On a large scale, black folks ain't running into shit every fucking day because of the color of their skin. But what most black people are gonna say that hold this card is that, you know, racism makes it harder for us. How? For you, how has it done that? And most of the time, they can't answer that question. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this happened to me 15 years ago. This happened to me when I was 12. This happened to me when I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? You think that other people, other races, other genders haven't had their fair share of obstacles because of the color of their skin, right? You think that, pretty white women haven't had to run into obstacles because of how they look. You think that, fucking a fat Asian man hasn't run into obstacles because of the color of the skin and how he looks like. You know what I mean? But they don't want to have that conversation. Victim, 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 victim.
Winners only see green because the truth of the matter is, like, I own a business, right? I have a bunch of employees. If somebody turns up and does their job and they're profitable for my company, I cannot afford to give a fuck about their race, religion, hair, gender, any of that stuff, because it's too hard to find people that work really hard. So a great example of that is LeBron James has been in the NBA for years because he puts out motherfucking results.
Okay, but
and he's not worried. And he's not worried and living. Oh, I'm black. I can't play in the league. But you could say that for any. I know plenty of successful young black men. And one thing I have a super big heart for is I play college football, and I cannot stand to see people put those young men in a box and tell them from the jump that they are not going to have a good shot at life just because they're black.
Can I ask you a question?
That is putting them in a box from the beginning and lying to them.
Sorry. Do you think that LeBron James had the same journey as his white teammates?
How is that fucking relevant? How is that fucking relevant? And if anything, no, because of the athletic ability and prowess this man has. That's why his damn journey was different than them. Unless you're talking about like him being from the hood and all that shit, man. But he came out the hood and was able to fucking take over the NBA the way he fucking took over the NBA. Has nothing to do with him being black. It's got everything to do with that motherfucker being a monster out the NBA.
You want to talk about exclusion? How many white people are in the NBA?
I
can't think of one.
Wait.
Name a white NBA player. I feel left out. Fuck this. I'm leaving.
Okay. No. But I'm just saying. That's in America. In the UK, it's different.
My
For
problem
example,
is telling young black men that they don't have a shot because they're black is literally handicapping them from the jump.
Like she says, my life is harder because I'm a woman and I'm a person of color. You're gonna carry that shit with you like a fucking, that's like a weight. You making life harder than it needs to be, man. Just address every obstacle like a new obstacle, man. And then life would be that much more easier and refreshing to navigate through, instead of just thinking you had to fight all these fucking battles and you mentally manifesting this whole narrative up in your mind and they got nothing to do with what's actually going on.
Sorry, so are both of you trying to say racism doesn't exist? Or you trying to encourage us?
You believing that you're a victim holds you back more than any of the actual racism that exists.
Don't get it twisted. I'm not a victim because I'm black.
I don't never tend to agree with Sneeko, but that is a fucking bar. That is a fact. Of course racism exists, but it don't exist enough to hold you back. What holds you back is how you believe racism is affecting you when it's really not. But they've conditioned you to think that racism is holding you back. It's an easy way to divide and conquer and keep motherfuckers where they play motherfuckers like pawns, bro. That shit pisses me off, dog.
This is why I'm not successful. This is why I'm unhappy. It's because of systematic oppression. That mindset will hold you back more than any white systems.
I do agree with that mindset. That mindset will hold you back.
It's going to hold you back.
Way more than any racism.
What I will say is racism does exist.
Absolutely. It exists everywhere.
It does exist. It exists everywhere. But obviously, I wouldn't call myself a victim. I've experienced racism, but I don't say I'm a victim. I wouldn't let that stop me from prospering.
Do you have a harder time succeeding than a white girl?
I don't know. I feel like it's all about mindset, to be honest.
Okay.
If you sit there and think, oh, I can't do this because of this, or I can't do that, then obviously that's a negative mindset to have. You're not going to grow and you're not going to be the best version of yourself. But if you think, okay, I might be different, but that's not going to stop me from elevating and being the best version of myself.
I get what you guys are trying to say in terms of my mindset. I definitely believe that what you think is what will manifest. But what I'm trying to understand is, are you guys trying to say that racism does not exist at all and it's just this fantasy?
Not as much as we're talking about it right now. And not as much as the
media
oppression
would
of
want
women,
you to believe.
and as much as feminists believe that feminists like are held back and that we need to be empowered. I ask, like, how do we empower women? Oh, motherhood. Okay. Mothers have always been respected. So it's a lot of this. People like to have, and this is what wokeness does, we like to have reasons to justify our existence and our place in the world. Like we're held back because of white oppression. I'm a feminist, I'm an immigrant, and this is why I'm where I'm at. It makes us feel better about our position in life. But if you let go of those attachments and just understand that the world is what you make it, you will succeed and you will be better. These ways to like racism, it's all garbage. It's all meant to keep us like down and at the bottom. The Black Lives Matter movement, for example, was all garbage, all a psyop, all of it was a scam. Same with the feminist movement. Any of these ideologies that people grasp on to feel better, same thing with all these people talking about Ukraine and Russia. Like, you're not going to change it. Just go get some money and start a family and just stop attaching yourself to stuff that you have no control over.
And that's the point. And he's dead on because, like, for example, people get all up flustered about who wins the presidency. Oh, Trump's president. I can't. Dude, I don't give a fuck who wins president. You could be president tomorrow. I'm still going to win.
Amen.
Bet your fucking ass. I don't care what the condition is. I don't care who's in the office. Dude, any of you could be president tomorrow, and I'm still going to get up and go to work the next day.
Can I tell you something very interesting? Do you know why racism actually exists? Because
I'm sick. She ruins the show, bro. She ruins the show, man. But yeah, this one was cool. I didn't anticipate them talking about that shit, bro. Tapping in, bro. That victim mind state, dog. I gotta get rid of it.